It has now been 11 weeks, 78 days, since our first COVID-19 confirmed case in Jamaica. We now have 564 confirmed cases. We have seen an acceleration in recoveries, with 238 recoveries to date, with over 100 in the last week. Unfortunately, we have had 9 deaths to date, and we now report 1 person critically ill. Therefore, there are currently 309 active cases. At this point in the progression of the epidemic, the number of active cases, that is, the number of persons who still have the virus, is a more meaningful measure than the total number of confirmed cases. Presently, the reproductive rate of the virus in Jamaica, our R0 is estimated to be about 0.8. Effectively, you could say that 1 infected person infects 1 other person on average. As a result of the evidence, that is the trending down in active cases and our reduced R0, we have gradually been relaxing some of our control measures. Please note, however, that if our numbers start to rise significantly, we will tighten up again. I'm pleased to report that the disembarkation of over 1,024 ship workers from the Royal Caribbean cruise ship, the Adventure of the Seas, was successfully completed yesterday afternoon at the Falmouth Pier. This brings to just under 1,500 Jamaicans being returned to date using the controlled re-entry program. At present, 19 Jamaicans from the Royal Caribbean vessel have been placed in isolation, having been tested positive for COVID-19, while 624 persons have been released into home quarantine following their negative results. 2 more cruise ships from the Norwegian Cruise Line with 174 Jamaican crew members and the Carnival Cruise Line with 240 Jamaican crew members are currently docked in Falmouth. A Disney Cruise Line vessel is also tentatively slated to berth on May 29th with more than 400 Jamaican crew members. The Carnival ship also has 180 Colombian nationals who will be transported via a secured corridor to a waiting charter flight at the Sangster International Airport to be flown back to Colombia. We're now deploying the same protocols and logistics that we utilized for the Royal Caribbean ship more broadly to facilitate the return of the over 8,000 Jamaicans who have applied to return on the JAM-COVID system. In addition, approximately 220 Jamaicans, including 40 involuntarily returned Jamaicans, are scheduled to return by air over the next 7 days. The state quarantine that we had in place, which we had required for 14 days, we will no longer require that 14-day state quarantine. Persons will arrive in Jamaica, they will be tested, they will be facilitated at a state quarantine until their tests are ready. If their tests are negative, then they will be allowed to complete their quarantine at home. Suitability of homes and living conditions have to be assessed for home quarantine. To speed up the assessment, we have sent out a series of questions for applicants on the JAM-COVID system to complete. I urge everyone who has applied to complete and submit this as soon as possible so that we can continue with processing your applications. Notwithstanding our focus on the ship workers presently, we will continue to work assiduously to focus all our resources to repatriating Jamaicans by air. And from the last assessment that I have received, we are expecting that we should be able to complete the repatriation of Jamaicans by ship by the latest, the middle of the first week of June.
With the opening up of the economy, with the less restrictions on movement, would be for us to look at the vulnerable communities across Jamaica and to ensure that we prepare ourselves to provide information in the first instance to promote prevention, and in the second instance to treat to the extent that the COVID virus touches down in any of those vulnerable communities. Two such vulnerable communities would be infirmaries and nursing homes. So the Ministry of Health and Wellness, working with all our stakeholders, and in this case with local government, is going through a process of assessing those vulnerable communities and putting the necessary infrastructure in place. Testing at the island's infirmaries was initiated, as said earlier, as part of this overall strategy, and this will continue. We have so far tested 6 of 14 infirmaries island-wide, and we're expecting to get the results of the samples that have been taken within the next couple of days. In terms of nursing homes and an update around nursing homes, another vulnerable community, the ministry has now assembled the inspection team for the island's nursing homes. Since March 2020, 118 nursing homes have been inspected together with 3 hospitals. 85 of the nursing homes have returned satisfactory results, 33 not satisfactory. We are currently awaiting information from 13 additional facilities. A detailed status report will be provided to the country in terms of the nursing homes. But let me just say that whether these nursing homes are registered or unregistered, the decision has been to inspect all and to provide a COVID protocol in these facilities to ensure that we minimize the risk as part of the way going forward.